didn't think we were going to record.
Oh, well, the audio's fixed, so we are good. I figured it might be.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is so let's just go through this slide deck pretty quickly. I only wanted this to take an hour. How do I get the slide deck to advance? Okay, so this is the agenda that they gave us, and we'll just keep going. And the goal is interesting, how to use the land use plans and Columbus growth strategy to comment on a case. And I think that's where planning should go as it moves forward. Um, and then the next slide. So basically, the basic definitions, land use is the way that Columbus has described how the land's going to be used. Zoning is basically taking care of how these parcels are zoned, and then rezoning, variance, council variance, and graphics variances, all the variances we deal with right now when they come to us. And the tools are neighborhood plans, Columbus growth strategy, and the Columbus site information resource application, CSIR. So let's keep going. Um, so this is, and I think we all know this at this point, there are four types of zoning. There's mixed use, residential, commercial, and industrial in the new Columbus growth strategy, okay? And if we go down, and they gave us pictures, nice pictures of all these, which we, really don't need, but there is just so many different categories within each of these different classifications. So you can see the density is based on, acre per acre. And then we have commercial, which has none. Then we have mixed use, and mixed use has three categories. There's something called an employment center, industrial and warehouse, which we have maybe one or two in the Near East Side, office, institutional, parks, and open space, which are the green ones. And then other includes landfills, vacant, um, and utilities and railroads, which we have one on Maryland Avenue, and agriculture. When we go look at the land use coloration, we'll see that it doesn't quite match what this says, but that's, take it with a grain of salt. So here are the different types of zoning, and then we see the variances also. I don't think, Roy, you can tell me, have we ever seen a Z, just strict rezoning? Uh, okay, so I don't remember one, but Roy does. Yeah. So typically we have council variances, BCA variances, and occasionally graphics variances. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so this actually shows you the coloration for the different land uses that are in we're in Columbus. And R3 is residential and C4 is commercial, I believe. Anybody can jump in and correct me or comment on this. And so basically, so what I want to get to is, so this tells you what a BZA to this. So there's a council variance right there. It is a use issue, changing the use of the property from what it's currently zoned as to the new zoning. And we've certainly seen that where we have gone from single family to um, multi-family properties. So that should be nothing new. And then the BZA is really how the building sits on the land and what changes they need to comply with the zoning codes. And then graphics variances are a request for signage, which we will have one. Planning will have one in June. It is 2000 East Main Street, which is the Kroger, I think. Yeah. Okay, so here, yeah, go. Yeah, it's north of 70. Well, we, yeah, right. And I think it's District 3. This is the Kroger on Main Street, not the one on Broad Street.
You're talking about the old,
Well,
like the one.
it's the Kroger on at Broad at Allen Creek, where Allen Creek dumps into Main Street. So again, right, it's on Main Street.
I'm thinking, is it a different?
No, I said it's not the one on Broad Street. At least I tried to. Okay, well, let's keep going then. Okay, and the ones that are rezoning in city council are actually, um, they're legally done by the city. So the city has voted on the current zoning and they have to vote on the rezoning when it comes, they come.
Yeah.
So, so let's keep going. So there we go. And so the Columbus growth strategy is, evolved from citywide planning policy, C2P2, a new approach to land planning and the benefits, and then the Columbus land use plan. And so the tools we have, this gives you an example of the CSER system and the coloration that you would get. Well, and we will see it when we go into it. But it is a fairly powerful program. I can admit that I have no idea what the full capability of it is, but it's really kind of interesting. So we are supposed to be using the neighborhood plan in planning when we are kind of looking at properties that come in, which we really haven't done at all, I think. Even when Gary Berry was chair of planning, that really didn't happen too much. Um, the one that was done in 2005. Yeah. Okay, the one thing that I wanted to show you is what they do. So this is the planning, rezoning, and variance case review. There is a staff review. And I can tell you that when we get applications, rarely has a staff review been done. And we've had cases when the staff reviews come in and the developer had to really modify what they were presenting to the NEAC side because parts of the plan, their plan application were deficient. So they're using the staff review, and it says applicants often work with planning staff to improve the project after initial comments. Yes, go ahead. Most of the time, when I'll show you where I get my documents, the staff review is not there. In fact, many times the staff review is actually published after we have approved or disapproved it. It's very annoying. And I think I asked that question and they said not to worry. I forget what. No kidding. Yep, no kidding. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Right. I, yeah. And I think part of so my kind of conclusion from this is if the staff, planning staff think it's going to be, the staff review is fine, even though it's not, has not been published, they will send it to us. And if there's a problem, they will wait. In fact, if there's a problem, they're going to be working with a developer to remediate the issues. So I think what we're getting are those the staff reviews that are going to be positive with no major um, alterations required. That's how I understand what they're doing. So the planning generally supports the proposal, but requests, well, that's an example of a staff report. Um, but there's actually quite a bit more. And here is the site plan, and here are the building elevations. And this is what I found really curious. Uh, so here, this is a plan, and these are some of the things they talked about. Here is the CSER view of the particular parcel, and it shows you where it is. And there's quite a bit of information which we'll go over. Um, and so they're answering these questions. Um, and we finally get to the point, wherever the heck it is. There were no elevations for this, and so they would not approve it until the elevations were required. So here it is. Planning is generally supportive of the proposal, but requests building elevations to ensure garage lines with plan guidelines. And we had this issue with, which project was it, at the general body meeting where there were no elevations? Yeah. So, we may be within it may be one of our prerogatives to say, until you get us the elevations, we will not review this project because not having the elevations was a big issue for the one. Uh, right. Yes. So that was my takeaway from this, and they did finally provide the elevations, and there they are. So this is basically what we're supposed to get, what they're reviewing, and the variances are developed from this particular site plan and elevations. So I think um, um, so there were two rounds of review based on the application revisions. One, planning supports the use, but requests building elevations, and the second review is planning is now full support, and that's when we probably should be getting it. Yep, it is. Right. So, and what I do as chair at this point is when a developer sends me the application that he or she has submitted, and I haven't got from the city, I send them an email back saying, we can't review this until we get the application from the city planner. And I've got no pushback on that, which I think is good. So if we probably should have a discussion, and I think zoning should be a part of that discussion, whether we want to require elevations when these applications come in. But that discussion's for another day, I would like to believe. So I'm running out of time. So I think this is really all, this is the presentation. I sent, I think, both zoning and planning this particular PowerPoint. So if you want to review it, go ahead. So what I'd like to do now is start showing you the software that we have to use. So I need to get out of this and let's do it. Let's go ahead and show everything. And if there's time, let's go ahead and go back and do that. Okay. No, no, I want my document, city. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So there are three pieces of software I want to review, and the first one is a city development tracker, which I found fairly interesting because it provides us with a level of information that we don't. Well, you can go ahead and do it because I am just a klutz. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. Okay. So this is the development tracker, and go ahead and well here. I want to make it zoom in so we can see the near side. So no, this is fine. So let me go ahead and click where I want to click. Okay. So here is this dot here represents 1020 East Broad Street. Does anybody remember that particular project? We had an informal conceptual review of that. Yes, it is. Right. Yep. So there's a dot there, and so I wanted to know what they're doing. Oh, come on, dot. Yeah, would you hit it? There we go. Okay, so this is actually the engineering review of the site. Can I see the how can I? Yeah. Oh, very good. So this is the site compliance plan, which we have never ever heard of. But this is when engineering takes a look at a project before it even gets to planning. It's my understanding. And so if we go down to keep, oh, yeah, go ahead and more information view. Okay, so there is, and now this is what you typically see when you go into the citizen portal. It's this type of information. And so it gives you basically the overview of the project. Go ahead and click record info at the top. Yeah, no, you have to pull it down. There. Okay, go to attachments now. Okay, this is what we get when we are reviewing. And you see that there are files here and click the first one, okay? There we go. All right, new details. Oh, that's not what that's okay. So this is what the city has. This is exactly what we saw when they came and presented to us. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with this project. It obviously is not dead. I've seen a dump truck in the on this property. I don't know what they were doing, but I think they're trying to remediate the land that the gas tanks were in. But at this point, the city still has this basic plan that we said was no good. So so just we will see it again. And what is interesting about the tracking, the development tracker, because it is the site's compliance plan, it tells you if it's complete or if it's still under review. And for this particular case, they're still under review. It is not complete. So, so this is the value of the tracker program. It's you could actually see, and what I did, I was really surprised at how many site plans are in the Near East Side that we know nothing about. So, um, so this will give us an indication of what might be coming down the pipe. That's really all I want to say about that. Okay, so the development tracker, you notice I did not log in. It does not require a username and password. So if you open this up, you will be able to look at the properties in your district to see what is where the compliance plan is in terms of these properties. Because once that particular, and this is the area where the fire department, the sewer department, all the different agencies come together and say this is okay or it's not okay. So this is where you actually get that information if you want to know what's happening with a particular property. So I have never and yeah, there it is. Yep, there it is. Yes, you have. My. And you may see a stick. There's the site engineering comment letter. Oh yeah, yeah. There it is. So the bottom, one of the take homes is if you want to review these applications before the meeting, you can. And for the more controversial ones, we probably need to be kind of all on the same page when it comes to it. But um, I don't remember these. Right. So let's go ahead and move on then. That's, yes. You know, you have to upload it to the NEAC drive or one of the drives, and you can share it from there. It cannot be shared from the city site. Yeah, Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, and there's my what I'm going to go what I'm doing. Um, so let's go ahead and open the Columbus Site Information Resource, which is C. Yes. Yeah. If it's available to us. Yeah. I know of two projects where the city review has been. Oh, yes, they do. I agree. Mhm. Like Open Wilson. I can incorporate it into that. Yes, it does.
It'll be a few weeks after the app is filed, and we may have gotten it already.
Yeah, give me one second. I think I did that.
So
So
oh,
oh, jeez. And I'll figure that out. The staff review after we've reviewed.
if the
If the
staff
staff
review
review
comes in and
comes in and
requires
requires
major
major
changes,
changes,
will it
will
be
it be
re-reviewed
re-reviewed
by
by
us? And I
us? And
was
I was
told
told
yes.
yes.
But
But
I'd
I'd
like
like
Chair
Chair
Lowenstein's
Lowenstein's
idea
idea
much
much
better,
better
that
that
we
we
just
just
ask.
ask.
And that
And
could
that
be
could be
part of the
part of the
planning
planning
conversation. And
And
I
I
may
may
build that
build that
into
into
the
the
agenda
agenda
if we
if we
actually get
actually
any
get any
applications for
applications for
June.
June.
If it's not, if it doesn't have their sign off. I mean, I guess what Roy was saying about it taking time. What does it matter if it takes time before it gets to us? I mean, if it gets to us and it has to come back to us again after that, then why did it come to us in the first place without?
I
I
think they're
think they're
trying to
shorten
shorten
the
the pipeline
pipeline
distance
distance
for
for
a
a
developer
developer
by
by
doing it the
doing
way
it the
they're
way
doing
they're
it.
doing it.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. Not,
If it changes substantially, it has to come back and look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
that seems like it's just wasting.
Well,
I understand the developer,
yeah, I-
make sure they get a review, but if you get a review that means nothing, then do you really get? Yeah, maybe I'm just missing the point.
Well,
well,
I don't
I don't
think
think
you
you
are.
are.
I kind of feel the same way that we should get the staff report and read it before we actually do the review. But you know, every time I push against that idea in training, they say, no, it's fine. You know,
My interest in these reports is not whether they feel that the substantive issue of the change in use is appropriate, because we have our own opinions about what ought to go in a certain location. You know, I more and more, I feel like, you know, if the word starts with an H for housing, they're gonna support it. I mean, it's like they really lean over backwards, maybe even more than we do, to try to support some of those things. But the things that interest me are more, in their reports, I mean, is more about like issues like infrastructure, traffic and parking, um, those two particularly. Like they may be aware of some issue that didn't even occur to us. And so if we know that before our meeting, we get to like ask the applicant, you know, the city the water department raised concerns about this or that, like how are you gonna handle it? I mean, I think if it's not our job exactly, but
Within our jurisdiction.
well, I mean, okay, I always talk about staying in our lane, and I understand but I mean, maybe I picked a bad example. But I mean, certainly things that affect whether the use is appropriate at the location sometimes is affected by what they're saying about maybe a traffic or parking issue.
So
So
one
one of the things that I remember, if the site compliance plan is complete,
and
and
you
you
open
open it up,
you
you
will
will
see
see
all
all
of
of
the
the
departmental
departmental
comments.
comments.
And
And
what
what
I'm
I'm
sort of
sort of
understanding
understanding
is
is
there's
there's
always
always
going
gonna
to be
be
a
a
site
site
compliance
compliance
plan
plan
that the
that the
developer
developer
has
has
to
to
do.
do.
Perhaps
Perhaps
I'm
I'm
wrong.
wrong.
Is that what we're looking at there on the screen?
Yeah, so I pulled up an example of what it looks like to get some of those
Yes,
right.
comments letters. So it looks like traffic management reviewed it, and then there's zoning review. Yeah, sorry, trying to pull up one. I think is usually the one that a lot of folks have a question about. So let me just come to the top, and then we can look at sample one.
And
And it also
shows you who did the review,
review,
which
which
sometimes with
with
planning
planning
itself,
itself,
we
we
don't
don't
know
know
who
who
the
the
planner
planner
was.
was.
So,
So
So I think if we do our due diligence and look for the engineering report in the development tracker, then we might be able to have a more complete picture of what's happening on the site. Okay, so let's
It has to be somebody's job to look these things up.
yes, well,
And that's where, I had talked to Commissioner Klepage about doing that, and I think she does it sometimes.
okay, so let's go ahead and get to the CSER software.
Software. Actually, well, okay, so CSER pulled up.
Okay, so let's go ahead and there's the mouse, and let's kind of go to the nearest side. Let's go ahead and get this. All right, so there we go. So there are several icons at the top here. So can we? There's an icon that's missing on the right side. Oh, there. Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead and do about. So this is your tutorial if you actually need want to get into further depth in CSER. I haven't done that yet, but I may do it. Where did you pull that up?
It's nope, too far up.
Too
Click out of that. Yep. And then on the right hand side where you see the three lines or three dash lines on lower.
Oh,
yes.
thank you. So let's go ahead and go to legend. And
you just want to left click on that, and then maybe the layer list.
yes, I'm looking for the layer list. Well, that legend is that is non-functional.
Yeah, the layer list I think is what you're.
Yeah.
From that. Yep, so that's good.
Okay, so this is the layer list, which is a whole new concept for me. So there are there's a baseline, the base map layer, and there's one thing I want to turn on: existing land use. So go ahead and click. You can be the. It's up higher.
Oh, higher?
Yeah.
Existing. There.
Now go ahead and close.
Sometimes it doesn't want to do.
Now go ahead and make it bigger. No. I mean, zoom in.
It's actually currently where we do.
So
so
now you get the pretty colors. And so this is, well, now let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit so we can actually see the whole Near East area side. So now you get a sense that's too far. I don't understand why it does what it does, but that's what it, you know. And so basically, these colors are the land use plan that was currently voted on and being used. Whoops.
Show what it was about that.
So you can see that Franklin Park is in green. Why part of it's blue? I have no idea.
Institutional use of
Yes.
Yeah, the other buildings.
And let's go look at OSU East Hospital. You need to, you can't zoom out, you have to zoom in.
Oh, there it is.
So that's in blue. And then next to it in green is Beatty Park. So basically, I think you can pretty much trust some of these colors. But if you go down, let's go back to Mount Vernon Avenue. Higher, go up. Okay, now you're there. Okay, now let's go west on that there. Go towards, yeah, that way. Okay, so you notice, we'll stop here. The blue block below is called Mount Vernon Plaza. Well, that is just plain wrong. That is not Mount Vernon Plaza. Mount Vernon Plaza is across the street. And so there are some little issues with this in terms of what color it is and what they're calling it, but it still is, I think, of real value here. So let's go back to, I'm going to let you navigate because you're much better at it. Let's go back to the layered list. And let's go to, yeah.
Oh, it disappears. So it reselects whatever the most.
Okay, so now you want, let's just go down to zoning, which is the next one.
Oh, sorry. Nope,
Oh,
that
that shows you all the different colors.
Columbus communities, which is not super helpful.
Right.
There's zoning.
Okay, so now go ahead and click all of the, well, if you scroll down in zoning, what happened to zoning?
Zoning is just 2 layers. Looks like where did it go? Right. It's just up there.
Okay, let's go ahead and do proposed graphics variances. All the proposed variances. Just click all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay, and then go ahead and close that. And then just
zoom out and zoom back in for it.
yeah.
Oh, it's already highlighted.
Okay, so
there we go. These would be.
That's a council variance.
Yeah, so now
Yeah,
we have all
right.
the proposed variances, but it
Right.
it's all 2 different.
Right.
ways.
So now you see, and I think it's the pink, right?
Yes.
Oh no, that was the blue. There's also
I'm
pink.
trying to click off somewhere so I can, let me just do this. So there's pink here,
Mm-hmm.
and that is a proposed council variance.
So all the pink blocks
are
are council variances.
Okay, so let's click on that. Should give us more info. So that's at 290 Champion. It is to allow non-accessory parking for adjacent uses on a parcel.
Right.
So I'll be honest, I don't know.
Again, go to record info.
Oh, okay.
Just to show, and then go to attachments. So this is, you will see this particular mode of getting to attachments in the tracker, in the citizens portal, and CSER. They all come back to this fundamental description of the project through the attachments that the staff added to the project. So you can get to these documents through multiple ways if you want to.
Oh, this is actually, okay, this is a good project. This is the museum at Poindexter Village.
Right.
So they'll be using the church's parking lot as part of the museum's parking lot. So I guess this is that agreement kind of that they were talking about.
Right.
So we go back to.
Yep.
If you click on any others, there's a green one that seems to be, use these.
There you go. So go ahead and open it up. And that is 155 South Ohio.
Vision clearance issue.
And I think you'll notice there was no staff report in that listing.
This looks like something we've seen. I don't.
It is.
That's
okay. Yes.
I think this is the one on Blackman, or no?
This is that weird pot that is like.
Oh, yeah, I think
this
he was
was
splitting.
that reconfiguration of the lots.
Lot lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Exit out of that, exit out of there, back to.
Okay, so let's go back to the layered, basic layer list. Okay, so the other thing I would just want to show you is below zoning is, and you can see all the options that you can try to visualize by clicking these boxes. But if you go down to ED housing and just open it up. So this is a lot of information we never deal with. And I don't think we'll ever start dealing with it, but it's fairly interesting, what these different buckets represent in terms of city development. I just found it curious, where the enterprise zones. The other thing you can do with this, and I won't show you because we're almost at 7:30, is you can visualize all the historic areas in the near east side. And
And much to my amazement, there was more than just Bright Road. And so that was, that kind of went, and a lot of them are just run.
You
You
know,
know, the Garfield Park,
that's
that's
an
a historic area. I had no idea. It's just, if you have nothing to do, which I would be surprised, just take, poke around in this.
Where, you said, where was it that you said you saw the sport?
That is under, I think, the base layer.
Oh, base.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
the
the
very
very
top.
top.
So I think
that is where historical.
Is
So
under
zoning,
zoning.
okay.
Thank you.
Historic and design activities.
And
And they're in brown,
and
and
there
there they are.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Smatter.
And
and if you click on one of the odd ones, it'll tell you what it is.
Okay, let's plus this one. I found mine first. Claire Nesbitt Miller Company. I have no clue, but much more info should I actually find.
Just
Just takes you to the
historic.
historic.
Oh, okay. The historic
Right.
website.
So that
property was originally the McLaren Auto Company,
whatever it is. And so
so
that's the name of the
historic
historic district.
district.
So if you go to another one, just
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
go to
This one?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
fine.
And
And
then
then,
so
so
that
that is the
Dr. Lewis M. Early House.
And that is the home on the corner of 20th and Lawn that has the outbuilding facing Long Street, but the house actually faces 20th.
Oh, it used to be the music school.
Yes,
Yes, and that's where, when they bought it, they found all the Tiffany windows
in
in the attic for the sunroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
House was in the Torah Homes, wasn't it?
Say it
Say it again?
Is that house in the Torah Homes a few years ago?
Could have
Could have been,
Yes.
yes.
Because I think that.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
so that,
it's
it's been an hour, I don't wanna take much longer. If you wanna go through the case, go
I will
right
go
ahead,
as
but
quickly as possible to not take up anyone's time. I just think this might be the most pertinent part of it because they talked about how the planning process should go when it comes to us leaving our comments for in support or denial. So if I go to your presentation, if I can find it. Try to quick. Oh, that's not too many times.
Yep,
yep,
that's
that's
it.
it.
Perfect. All right. So, oh. So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, almost there. Open CC. Okay, yep. So this is a really good example. I have CC right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and open up 3600 West Dublin Granville Road. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Is there a building on the property based on the aerial? Was there a building there in 2000? Forget how many layers I have to turn on to get this information, but yeah, I got to turn on a couple more.
Yeah,
That's the one thing I didn't mention. You can look at this plot of land historically
and
and how it's changed over time.
I'm
I'm
not sure
not sure
why
why
we
we
would
would
want
want
to
to know that,
but
but
it's
it's
an
an
interesting
interesting feature of
the
the software.
So when you click on the location, it'll often give you like the city auditor's website. And so when
Yeah.
you click on it, it'll take you to that parcel's information. And I mean, some of us have used this, and you can actually look at historical aerial photos. So that's where it wants me to do that. So enough. This is a McDonald's. There's a street. this is one of the historic McDonald's, but they asked us a couple questions in the training. Is there a building on the property based on the aerial? So there is. And then it says, was there a building there in 2000? There is a way to actually use the, click on it. Search for results, existing land use parcels, and then I think I have to turn on all the layers. I don't remember all the layers, but when you turn on the layers, it'll give you more and more information in this little tab. And you can use that to find historical information. I'll be honest, I don't remember which one.
I don't remember either.
There we
Yeah,
go.
somewhere in there are icons for different years.
I see.
And I couldn't tell you how to get back to it, but I just looked up.
Okay.
Right. You
I
can get
found
there
it,
and go.
now I can't find it
Yeah,
again.
it likes to run away as it does. It might actually be, is it parcels? Nope, that just takes me back to the same spot. That's okay. But the main thing is that CSER has all this information, so they walked us through this to find like what is the original zoning of that area, and that I know you do just turn on zoning, and then it should tell you. We actually do this. If we do this properly. Turn on the layers, zoning, zoning should be turned on. Let's see, let's do turn on all of the layers. There's one more big one. Here. Now you'll see that the search results have increased, so I can look at the graphics variances, the existing land use, and the parcels, and that gives you more information than if I click this like graphics. It'll show me like I think this is the year 2019.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
graphics
it
shows
is.
year 30, and then gives you more information. If you click it, it'll actually take you to the city page that has all that same information that we've kind of reviewed before, where you can then go to record, you can then go to attachments and actually see that graphics variance submission and any other graphics variance submissions that happened over the years. And then this is where you can see the dates, so you can actually see like when has that occurred, which if we ever wanted to do a deep dive in any of these bigger projects, we could. I would probably have to also rehash myself on all of this information, but it was really nice to see that CSER is kind of the main thing you want to use to dig into properties.
Yeah.
And then the main point is turning on the layers. The layers will give you information that when you click on the actual property or project itself, it will then give you further information that you can use to kind of work your way through.
And
And what I may do for the committees is
come,
put together a cheat sheet
on
on CSER on how, what you have to turn on to see what you're looking for.
The last
That'd be great.
bit of it is the example case where they showed us how to do this. This is where I think is the most important, so we can actually copy the address really quickly.
This is the last thing, and then we'll get out of here. Not going to the right place.
That is not where we need to go.
Okay.
There you go.
Everything's
So if you censor, move, so you turn on zoning. And then this is really important. What adopted plans apply to this case? So when we go to,
This is really bad even for other people.
no, I mean, not the greatest, but I think
But
it
it's
is.
like without that guy, how would you ever get in?
Yeah, no, it's because they walked us through and how I was able to remember. And okay,
So
I'll cheat sheet for you before the next meeting. Oh my goodness.
so the main thing that I wanted to pull up here is just existing land use employees. Low density residential, and then here. There's help me out here. So the main thing that I want to go in, so they ask us what adopted plan does this case fall under? And when you go into CSER and you click a property, there's a tab that will show you what specific plan. And if it falls under like Columbus Growth Strategy or C2P2, there are different standards that we are supposed to apply for whether or not we support it. some of the project, I mean, pretty much all of the projects in our in NEAC haven't fallen under either of those Columbus growth strategies or C2P2 yet. So it'll say Near East Area Commission. When you then click on it, it'll actually pull up our area plan, and we're supposed to use the language in that area plan to support or deny support of a project based on specific language that is in that plan. That is something that we have not been doing.
Right.
That they showed us that we should be doing, partly to protect ourselves from being sued, so that we have not subjective language that says whether or not we support something. So having those documents is really helpful. And then it says, yes, is this new proposed use supportable, and is the new proposed site plan supportable? And that's where we are supposed to use our area plan or Columbus's plan, depending on if we have one. To then any language we can grab in there to show our support is what we're supposed to do. So when we support something, they literally like find something in the language that still shows that it's consistent with the plan, and you can use that as your backing for why you support it. And if you see something that does not support in the plan, you can use that as a reason why you don't support it, rather than just coming up with a reason and having no kind of like documentation.
Well, the trouble is that our plan is 20 years old.
That is correct.
We really don't.
And so
They are compelled at the city level to relate back to the Near East Plan from 2005. And the reason we never talk about, almost never, is that there's very little in there that's real relevant, anymore.
There's some,
Developers use it.
yeah, there are some consistent points in there. I will say, like increased density in certain areas. There were some other language about like, if I remember correctly, one of these projects had an ADU, and there's actually language in there that does support ADU, which is good because we're in a climate where the city has passed ADU what is it, laws, language, whatever. And so if we have an ADU project, someone's against it because they don't like ADUs, our plan actually supports ADUs. So we cannot say we don't support it because it's not in our plan, because it actually is in our plan. So those are maybe the bigger faux pas we want to avoid is it's not the Bible, but if we directly say we don't support something for a specific reason, we just need to be sure that our plan actually says that.
And this is particularly difficult because, the final vote is the general body. There's a form letter with the check boxes. So to put in our recommendation is something we have to talk to Chair Harold about. Because the letter itself has no language other than the check boxes, and you can write a single sentence. But in terms of a whole, why we supported it or why we denied it, it would really have to be an appendix to that letter.
It almost seems like, if I'm off base on this, it will be the first time, but it almost seems like, couldn't you just have ChatGPT
Absolutely.
look at our plan and look at the case and say, does this fit this?
We use control find for the PDF in the site plan to just be like ADU language, and then it said, there's only one sentence in, I think it was our plan or one in Clintonville that said in support of accessory dwelling units, and it didn't have very much description other than like should fit the character of the neighborhood, which is, as you know, kind of subjective. But yes, that's exactly what we did. We just control find and said, is it in there? If it's in there, good. But if there's language kind of like, and the opposite of that, we may just find another piece of language in this.
So the part of it that is non-subjective is what you're talking about.
Yes.
The subjective part is, do we, the current people, think that it
Fits, yeah.
So,
So there's still a lot of leeway for us to make decisions. It's not like a binding thing. They kind of, in my feeling, it felt like something that they were very specific about because they pulled up, this comes up multiple times, like, is the proposed site plan supportable, is their language, not supported, but is there language in the plan that supports it? And then it says, look on page 2 of the area plan, and that's just like, kind of like how they go look, and it's like, the language very clearly says like, yes, then they this, and so you just cite that, and they actually put that. So it says the garage should be located behind the house if the site is served by an alley. So this was in their plan that said any garages should not be street front facing because they're trying to go to those things where the garages are in the alleys, so people pull in the alleys to front and look like that suburban look. And so that was something that was in the plan. So this is actually the ADU one, and the ADU butts against the alley, so the plan supports the site plan as it was given proposed. So those types of things. They're not very lengthy, but I think if we don't want any blowback from the city, we may just want to look to incorporate those things on the letter. That's it.
Okay,
Okay,
I have nothing more.
Anyone remember the one we did approve that had a front loading garage?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Oh, so it was a side, are you talking about the side street one on, or are you talking about further back? Because there's been a couple that were like, one of Josh's plans, like, it's kind of on the side of the street, so it's not an alley per se. And required a curb cut. Yeah, and then there was one of the black ones from that Ojimi Baco or something that I think it was like on the street, but I think it also would be one of those things where it's like a curb cut under the house, but it was front facing.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Okay, yeah.
He now has that land per se.
Oh, he never, yeah, because near the other
It
black
was a
building.
it was a land bank property,
Oh,
and
really?
now
You can
it's,
just, you can just buy land back properties and resell.
I guess, for 125.
Really? I thought they, like, the whole thing was you had to develop it for the land bank to sell it to you.
Well, I
Or you just had to
I
have a
think that is
proposal.
true.
That was a very strange
Yeah,
transaction.
yeah.
I don't get it.
All right, so
Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you for all the readers.